are listening to LOA Recon with the Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we dissect the ins and outs and the art and science of conscious creation, all intended to amp up your manifesting game. Let's have some fun together. We live into the stories we tell. How many times have I said that in client sessions? Probably on this podcast. Hey, remember the last foster cat I had? Not the one I have right now, but the one before, that beautiful black cat. Oh, the guy I was dating, he called her Mama Cass because she was a big girl. So the shelter had posted in the Facebook group saying, she needs out right now. She's going to pop any minute. This girl's pregnant. We don't want her to have her kittens at the shelter. And I did not waste any time going down there to pick her up because, first of all, it's my local shelter. And second, I love black cats. And I had an empty nursery. I had an empty kitten room. So I went and got her. Well, 3 days later, she still had not had kittens. So I took her to the vet. I was going to the vet for a different reason. I took her along. They did an ultrasound to confirm that girl's not pregnant. And she's just a chunk. She's a big girl. There's no doubt about it. She was a big girl. And that's the story I told about in her bio. I told the story about how she got busted out of the shelter by faking a pregnancy. It is kind of funny. And the woman who ended up adopting her, a couple adopted her, the woman had told me how that part of her story, it got her attention. It made her laugh. Okay. And I told that story I was telling it to clients. I told it on social media. I told it to the rescue group. I told it to prospective adopters. I featured it in her bio. I told that story a lot. Yeah, she wasn't pregnant. She was just fat. Solid. She was just a solid big girl. That's all. Yeah, that was pretty funny. How she got busted out of the shelter faking a pregnancy. So on the day that she got adopted, the very same day, the rescue group texted me and said, hey, there's a pregnant cat at a feral site. She was on her way to get spayed, but, the caretaker said, if there's a foster home, maybe she could have her kittens instead of spay them, because they don't like to spay them when they're that full term, and she was a big girl. She looked like she could have them any minute. And I said, absolutely. Absolutely. This girl's getting adopted today. My room will be open. Actually, my other foster cat, she had the run of the house. So we didn't even need her to be gone in order to take in another pregnant cat. So I said yes. I went and picked her up, brought her home. And they had told me she was like 7 months old. 7 months old. She's just a kitten herself. And she's already pregnant, and you could feel her belly. Oh, my gosh. It was, yeah. I could see why they were like, it should be any day. I thought for sure I would have kittens in this house before September was over. I thought for sure. September came and went, and, man, time passed. I still wasn't seeing any kittens. So then I was like, I'm going to take her to the vet. We're going to go find out what's what. And then she started nesting behavior. Like she found the place where she was going to have them and she just camped out there. And I was like, oh, dang, I better not roll her into a vet when she's all getting ready to have kittens. That'd be rude, especially young moms. You don't want to stress them out. They have a hard enough time as it is. So don't stress them out. So I was like, oh, maybe I better not take her to the vet. And, and on the morning because we were going to the vet, Harvey had this, he coughed once. So I went to a vet. Okay, it wasn't exactly a cough though. It didn't sound exactly like a cough. And then the next morning when we were sleeping in bed, I had my hand on his chest and it seemed like he sat up like, when you have a cold and you can't, and it just seemed like something wasn't right. So we were going to the vet. So I was going to take this other foster cat, but then I thought, oh, dang, she's nesting. Don't disturb her. So on the morning of, I went down to go feed her before me and Harvey were going to the vet, and she was not in her nest. She was not in the little bed. I have 3 beds in the closet, actually 4 beds in the closet, so they have their pick of wherever they might prefer. she wasn't in there. It's the first time I'd seen her walking around in the room in the nearly 4 weeks that I'd had her. Nearly 4 weeks. Okay. So I was like, oh, we're going to the vet, young lady. We went to the vet. She's not a 7-month-old pregnant teenage feline. She's more like the vet guessed 5 to 7 years old. Yeah, she's a chunky girl. She's solid through and through. Her stomach felt really tight, but he said there's no babies in here. In fact, he shaved her belly and showed me her space scar and the tartar on her teeth. I had posted on my page that results from the vet, this cat's not pregnant. And Tracy replied saying, another chunk, what are the odds? I said, that's totally what I'm going to call this episode. What are the odds? You know what the odds are? The odds are in favor of whatever story we keep telling. We live into the stories we tell. And how many times did I tell the story with emotion? I wrote it down as part, when I was crafting her bio, I wrote it down. I emailed it when I was, I spent time on that story, and it was an emotional story. I had emotions around it. I told that story a lot. Yeah, those are the odds. The odds are in your favor, whatever story you're telling. Speaking of chonks, guess what? Okay, so the vet confirmed his cough is nothing. This guy is totally fine. But he weighed in at 92 pounds. Okay, before the pandemic, he weighed 75 pounds. And I could chalk that up to he was young. He's still a very young dog pre-pandemic. So maybe he had some, he was still filling out. Okay, we could say that. But right about the time vaccines came out, so I can't call it post-pandemic. I'm not sure that we're done. But he weighed 85 pounds. And then he weighed 92 at the vet. They sent me home with the fact sheet on obesity and healthy treats. Rude. So rude. Oh, another chunk. I think that's funny. Okay, no, it's not funny that Harvey might be overweight. I told the vet, I said, we walk constantly. We were good walkers before we got this puppy, but post-puppy, we are constantly walking. And he said, oh, he's got great muscle mass underneath this fat layer. I said, he hardly eats his dry food, and he won't even touch the wet. I was like, how can he be overweight? And the vet said, what about people food? I said, oh, well, yeah. Because when friends come over who are carnivores and they eat something that's got meat, look, every guy knows the way to score points with me is if Harvey likes them, that's really, really good. And an easy way to get Harvey to like you is to share your beef tacos or whatever you got going on that's actually animal flesh. The stories that we tell. I got a lot of clients who show up to sessions with stories like, I'm not good at this. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It doesn't work for me. Or sometimes their story goes like, I can't count on, sometimes this is my story. I can't count on anyone. They don't understand. This is hard. I'm busy. There isn't enough. I don't know what to do. The country is so divided. The planet is in trouble. We know, right? We know some of these stories, don't we? We live into the stories we tell. I got this. It's coming together. It's in process. I get it. I'm good at this. Things keep working out for me. Everyone's looking out for me. I've got great helpers everywhere I turn. Life is good. I'm having a good time. People are good. We're getting the hang of this. Answers are coming. It's all good. We live into the stories we tell. Right? I'm on the fulcrum with my story about a guy and my relationship with him. It could go either way. It could go either way. I am right at that tipping point where it could go either way. I could tell it this guy gets it. He's got potential. He's worth investing in. He's got a lot of love in his heart, and he knows how to express it. He's getting better and better at it. He's got skills, and he's got the desire to work on the skills to pull this stuff off. Or I could tell the version like, look, he showed me who he is. Believe them the first time. He's deficient. Steer clear. There's no hope here. Nothing good's going to happen here. This is a waste of time. I could go either way with it. But you know what? I don't even have to decide about him. I could just decide about my love life in general. Things are working out for me. I'm getting the hang of this. I've learned a lot, and I'm putting that experience to good work. I know what I want, and I'm good at letting that in. My romantic life is rewarding. It's satisfying. It's fulfilling. It's on perfect track. We live into the stories we tell. Look, I might just keep telling the story about how pregnant cats aren't pregnant at my house. I could probably solve the homeless cat problem here locally in one season if all the rescue groups just kept giving me their pregnant cats. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. But let's pay attention to the stories that we prefer. Let's get better at telling those versions, right? Because we're good at this. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Happy manifesting.